Oh wow, this works. Oh wow, this works. Okay. I am. I'm just drawing whatever my hand does. It's just sort of freehand drawing. Also, hello. I did not expect anyone to join this. Damn. Yeah, I picked this pen up just by chance, actually. I will use anything and everything to draw. Wow, it's actually pretty cool. People have joined this. I did not expect this to have more than 0 people. Is this all visible? I think it's visible. Can I zoom in? Oh, I can zoom in. Look at that. Wow. Where's everybody from? The people who are watching. Where are you guys from? Yes, that is. Oh, cool. Whereabouts in the UK? London. I am currently in Cambridge. I'm studying here for university. The term doesn't start until October, so I'm just interning for a few months, doing some research work. It's very nice over here. It's very quiet. Also, it's very warm. So once I'm done drawing, I'm gonna head out, go for a walk, maybe go for a run, enjoy the heat, enjoy the warmth. Oh, you've been here before. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's nice. You're drawing as well. What are you drawing? What sort of stuff do you make? And also, where in London? Where in London are you? Alderisha, if that's how you pronounce your name. I, well, as you'll see, I don't actually know what I'm drawing. I'm just doodling. So I'm just drawing a bunch of random faces and shapes and trying to make it look like something that's at least 10% visually appealing. I might be bleeding this pen dry. Probably should have chosen a better pen for this. Oh yeah, this pen is not going to survive. Apparently there are 8 people watching this, which is insane. Thank you for joining. And hopefully thank you for staying for more than 5 seconds. I think I'm gonna have to switch my pen. Be on standby. I'm gonna have a look at if I have any other black pen I can use. Oh, I beg I have a black pen somewhere. I have lots of blue pens, not something black. Maybe I'll just switch to blue then. I've got this blue pen here. And we are retiring the black one. Oh, very cool. Oh, that's very different to what I'm drawing here. That's very fun. So do you do it as a hobby, or are you doing it just as a job? Do you work as an artist, or are you baking? Is that what you're doing? Let me find another pen. I should have one. Well, I've got a thicker black pen, which might also be dead. Yep, I'm gonna have to transition to blue after this. Yep, it is not looking good when it comes to pens. Okay, let's move on to the blue instead. So I am streaming vertically because YouTube is not letting me stream horizontally for whatever reason, so you have to manage with this. Oh, that's pretty cool. You've been able to draw for clients. That's always a fun thing to do. I would love to be able to do that at some point. I've made canvases back when I used to be in school. I did a few canvases for some school festivals and carnivals. Um, so that's probably like the most sort of client quote unquote work I've done. Um, Yeah, I've done a lot of comics before actually. You could see some of them on my Instagram account, which goes by the same name as my YouTube page. Even though I don't use that account much anymore because try to spend as much time as I can away from the phone. I do have a few short comics on there. Um, maybe you like them, maybe you won't, but if you want, you can check them out. Can I do that? And so how's everyone come across this live stream in the first place? I'm very surprised. Oh yeah, it is rubbish. It is, um, especially if you're trying to get people to notice what you're doing. Then it is not a good place to be. I also think it's quite like Instagram and I think most social medias, including YouTube. Everything is quite, let's say, everything is very commercial, very business oriented now. So things that do well are things that sort of play into I don't know, the formula, I guess, if that makes sense. Um, the Instagram formula, the algorithm, things that are oriented on just getting people to watch, regardless of I don't know, creative quality or originality. Back maybe let's say 5 6 years ago, before let's say short form content became a thing, and it was more of posting photos and just images. That's when platforms like Instagram were really fun, because then it was the perfect place to come across people who were doing really fun things creatively or artistically. But I think because of COVID, people had a lot more time on their phones. They had a lot more time to waste or just pass. And things like TikTok were just doing really well because of that very same reason. So now Instagram, YouTube, they're all taking to short form content, which is pretty much just a haven for businesses and promoting things or something commercial. So either you play into that if you want to. I personally can't do that because it doesn't come to me naturally, and it doesn't feel very. Knowing myself, it's not something that I would want to do naturally. To make reels, like the standard sort of idea of an Instagram reel. So, you make your decisions. You got to stick with them. Though I've always thought doing a live stream of just doodling would be pretty fun, because I think let's say if you want to draw yourself, you can always put it on in the background, and you can also speak to people in the comments, and I think it's a fun way of just drawing and then spending time with your hobbies, and also just putting it out there somewhere for people to see. Wow, the number of people in this Switch is quite quite excessively. It just jumps from 5 to 8, now it's on 13. I'm finding it very hard to believe that I've got 13 people watching this. Oh, you also asked what I was studying. Yeah. Uh, so I'm an undergrad, or at least I kind of was an undergrad. I'm going into my master's, but it's a continuation of my undergrad degree. And I came in for natural sciences, and I'm specializing in earth sciences. And I'm working particularly on natural hazards like landslides, and basically trying to combine that with machine learning techniques so that we could either detect or forecast landslides, and that could potentially assist in disaster response in an ideal world. Because the disaster response is no simple thing. To be able to design something that could forecast landslide, it would have to be pretty robust and reliable if you want to use it in hazard response, risk management. Anywho, we got a guy over here that I'm drawing beneath this other guy's armpit, because that's how it works in the real world. I was going to ask what your dream is, but I guess that answers the question. If that's in reference to the landslide stuff, then yeah, for now I think that's what I am quite focused on. It's what I'm thinking about. But it's also quite easy to kind of jump to, let's say, grand ideas like risk management and disaster response, especially just as a student. So I'm trying to keep myself level-headed and focus on the results. So at least just building a good model that could do a good job of detecting and forecasting. And then from there we can see where it goes and if I decide to pursue it further. Though my dream growing up was always to go into paleontology and dig up dinosaurs. So maybe one day I might just pivot back into that, if it ever works logistically. Ooh, let's put some music on. Yep, exactly. Yeah, so dinosaurs, animals, pretty much the reason why I got into science in the first place. So zoology and genetics, evolutionary biology, and then all earth sciences and understanding the planet as well. All of that sort of has been my jam for the past 21 years. Oh, very cool. Is he a professor? Is he a researcher? Or what are they doing? Private. What's a private professor? Is that not at a university, but at just some research institution. Is that what that is? Oh, that's sweet. Oh, the filling in is always the tedious part. And this pen isn't flowing the best. Even though it normally does. And more one-on-one teaching. Oh, very cool. What sort of topics does he teach? What exactly in physics? And is it something that you understand quite well, or is it something that you just listen to and just take a lot of interest in? Yeah, it really is. I find it very easy to get romantic about it. So just thinking about science and all the fun things you could do and all the fun things it could mean. And there's so much to lose yourself in. Yeah, just before I started this live stream, I just happened to come across this thing called the I think it's called the golden crowned flying fox, and it's, I think, the largest bat species in the world, and it has like a wingspan of 1.5 or 2 meters. And I was looking at these images, and if it looks like I was looking at the images of it hanging from a ceiling or from like a branch, and it looks like a man in a bat suit, literally like Batman hanging from a tree. And it's incredible how things like this, actually exist, and they're just out there in the world, just doing their own thing. And we, as just people living our own lives, kind of never acknowledge it, or are just sometimes oblivious to all that's going on. Let's move on from the back. I'll zoom out a little bit. Is that in focus? I'm not sure. I would love to be able to figure out how to stream landscape. It kind of bugs me mentally that it's portrait. Math, English, sciences, art, history. Oh wow, that's a lot. That sounds fun. Yeah. Thank you, Thomas. Congratulations, champion, on the fart. Yeah. In many ways, I guess there's a burden of being extremely sentient, like humans are, because now we have so many thoughts and so many things to worry about, in the sense that an animal would only have to worry about, I guess, survival and feeding and reproduction. But as humans, we have to worry about those things, but then, education, getting a job, money, relationships, friends, entertainment, social status. So in many ways, it is a far more complicated life, even though we do have all of these privileges of, of a materialistic lifestyle. Yeah, Thomas, I don't know what I'm drawing. It's just things that, my hand is sort of got control over. My brain's not thinking, my hand is thinking. Yeah, in many ways, it is sort of meaningless. Um, and so I've spoken, I've had similar conversations with, friends and family before, and people who are coming from less developed places, and places that aren't so well off, like the Western world, in many ways, their worries are a lot less because they don't have all of these materialistic things and they're not spoiled for choice. So in many ways, they tend to be a lot happier and a lot more free because they have to focus on the more essential things, which is, feeding themselves and their family, and but keeping a roof over their heads and things like that. And I grew up mostly in India, so I've seen people who, living in villages, like the strict meaning of the word village, and even though there's lots of struggles, because it's not the most well developed, but they also happen to be very happy and very, clear in the head, because there's a lot less to think about and a lot of unnecessary things that they don't need to think about. Your hand is the best thinker. Yeah, in many ways it is. Anyways, that was quite a nice sort of deep, I guess, monologue or soliloquy. I don't know what the word is. Honestly, why not? Why not? One of the postdocs in the lab, in the research group I'm at right now, where I'm interning, he also works on landslides and those sorts of problems. He's from Italy, so he told me a few weeks ago he went camping by himself. He went solo camping, in some mountainous area, I think near Genoa or somewhere in Italy. And he said it was just it was such a fantastic experience because you're just away from so many unnecessary human-based things, and you kind of can clear your mind so nicely and spend time with yourself and spend time with a different part of the world which isn't so, like altered and influenced by, ourselves. But camping is no easy thing. I would need some training before I go camping. I don't think I could do. Yeah, this is all talk. But yeah, having to camp and do all those things, quote unquote, a simple lifestyle like that, it comes with its own challenges. I've grown up a vegetarian, purely out of love for animals. I would find it very hard to kill one, if I was just out in the woods. Only chance I could ever do it is, if it's life or death, then I would have to force myself to do it one way or the other. Oh, you were in Lake District. Oh, must have been great. Yeah, I've heard lots of good things about Lake District. I would love to go there. How long were you there for? Did you drive up? I know the drive up there is pretty nice. Um, we had gone in my second year at uni. We had gone for an earth sciences field trip just around Lake District. It was in the northwest, but I don't remember the exact names of the places we were in. But we could see like the mountains along the horizon. It was very pretty. It was very nice. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I think as far as I've seen, and from the people I've spoken to, lots of places like this, especially with people outside of the UK, they're actually not that familiar with how much there is to see within the entire country, or countries, I guess. If you go up to Scotland, or if you go into Wales, or if you go into Lake District, or even South England, the South Coast, there are so many incredible things to see. And not many people know about them. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for joining. It's very nice to speak to you. And yeah, maybe we'll cross paths again. Best of luck. Oh crap, my phone's about to die. I'll salvage this. Hold on. Charger in. I reckon I will draw, if anyone's even here listening, I will draw for another 5-ish minutes, and then I will call it call it a day. I'll go to the gym, come back, have some dinner. Maybe I'll watch a movie. It's one of those slow days. Not much to do, not much to socialize for today. I passed my driving theory test in the morning, which was very fun, and also a good burden to take off the shoulders, because I felt like I was going to fail that, but it went well. Got a 46 out of 50 in the MCQs, and then a 50 in the hazard perception. 50 out of 75 in the hazard perception test. So now I can book my actual driving test and get to work. Tomorrow I've got football. I might do some tennis as well with some friends. I've got football with friends, and then I'm watching United Arsenal in the evening, and I think I'm going to do dinner with my friends. In the evening also, we'll do some cooking. My current accommodation has a very big kitchen, so that'll be fun. Okay, I think I'll do one last character. And we're almost done. Okay. Ooh. There we go. That's the work for the day. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching, and see you later. Bye.